لا يجوز أصلا، لا يجوز التزام مذهب بعينه.
Means you have ta'assub for it. That means that you don't take anything else. This is the only, this is the way, this is everything. Which a lot of people do, especially in certain parts from in the Indian subcontinent, etc. So he's saying that's not permissible. Let's continue listening to, and maybe that will upset some people, but let's listen to what the Sheikh is saying, and then we'll explain and expound upon what he says as well, because I'm sure there's a lot more context to it.
بحيث يقول أنا لا أخرج عن مذهب أحمد.
Okay, he says that he would say, I would only follow the madhab, I do not go anywhere else and not take anything else. Only the madhab of Imam Ahmad or only the madhab of Shafi, etc.
لا أخرج عن مذهب الشافعي، لا أخرج عن مذهب مالك، لا أخرج عن مذهب، لا يجوز هذا الأمر.
He's saying that that's not permissible.
أبدا. المذهب الوحيد الذي يجب على كل مسلم يلتزمه مذهب محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Okay, the only madhab that he means in this case that you do not go against, that you do not oppose, that you follow in every, you say, look, this is the end all be all, is the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, meaning the hadith, obviously, and the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ. This is the only madhab that you take. This is a madhab of the Muslims. It's obedience and following the Prophet ﷺ. This obedience and ta'ah of لا متبوع بحق إلا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم, there's no one to be worthy of being followed absolutely, completely, is the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, no one else.
أما العلماء الباقون فكل يؤخذ من قوله ويترك.
Okay, and the other remaining scholars, you take from them and you leave, because they make mistakes, they're human beings. And that's what Imam Malik said. He said that everyone you take from and you reject, except the specific person in this grave, referring to the Prophet ﷺ, and he pointed at the grave of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, there's a common argument that people make, the people who just stick to the madhab and the only madhab is everything. They will say to you, okay, you know what, but didn't Shafi'i follow the Prophet ﷺ? Did Imam Ahmad follow the Prophet ﷺ? Wasn't their madhab following the Prophet ﷺ? Yes, but that doesn't mean that every single person they said is right. And the evidence for that is that they disagreed with one another. That Imam Ahmad disagreed with the Shafi'i, and Shafi'i disagreed with Malik, and they disagreed with one another, which shows that yes, okay, if they're all, as you try to claim, they're all sources, the hadith, that means they will not disagree with each other. If they disagree with each other, that means that some of them can be correct and some of them can be wrong. That means you cannot 100% take every single thing they say as it is revelation. That you cannot do that with the madhab.
ولذلك الإمام أبو حنيفة والإمام أحمد والإمام مالك والإمام الشافعي ولا واحد جاء عنه قال التزموا مذهبي.
And then he says, yeah, none of the four imams, it's a very strong point. None of the four imams of the madhab said to you, just follow me, follow my madhab. In fact, they said, all of them, they said, if what I say goes against the hadith or the Quran, then reject it. That's what they said, which them saying this is evidence by itself is that they can make mistakes. And certain positions they can take can be rejected.
أبدا. بل ما الشافعي تلميذ مالك. الشافعي تلميذ مالك. ومع هذا خالفه، وأحمد تلميذ الشافعي وخالفه، هم نفسهم أنفسهم الأئمة.
Yeah, so this is the point that we're making, and he's adding to it that they were students of each other, right? So I was talking about them disagreeing with each other. They're students, they were the students of one another. And you didn't have Imam Ahmad saying, I'm a Shafi'i madhab. You know, he disagreed with him. Even the companions of Imam Shafi'i, like Al-Muzani, etc., disagreed with him in certain issues. Like, and the companions of Abu Hanifa, etc., disagreed with him. So people need to understand that even the main followers of the students, the main students of these imams, they even disagree with the imams. And obviously we're talking about jurisprudence and fiqh. In these issues, they disagreed with them. So you cannot come and say, oh, this is the end all be all and 100% what is said is the truth.
رحمه الله تبارك وتعالى. فلا يجوز أن يلزم الناس بمذهب واحد يقال التزموا هذا المذهب.
And here he's saying that it's not permissible to say, which means this is probably the question that came, that forcing the people, it's not permissible to force the people, you have to follow this specific madhab. So this is how the question came, is that certain people say you have to follow this madhab, or you have to follow that madhab. This is probably the context of the video, is that you cannot force people by saying you have to stick to this madhab. The only madhab you have to stick to is the madhab of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the Quran. This is the only madhab that you have no choice except following. And now, but what about following a madhab as a guideline? Because these madhab gives guidelines, they give rulings, they give specific usul principles, which guide you as a student of knowledge. There's no problem in doing that. So also don't think that this video, the Shaykh is saying, you cannot follow a madhab. What he's saying is that you cannot force people to take a madhab, which many people do, sadly. He's saying you cannot say that you have to be upon a specific madhab to another individual. You cannot do that. But if you yourself want to follow a madhab, there's no issues with that. As long as this video says, you cannot be 100% whatever the madhab says is revelation. Because there are things in your madhab, whatever madhab you would follow, they will be incorrect. They will be in opposition to the majority. They will be in opposition to the hadith. They will be in opposition to the text. So if you find that, then you go against the madhab that you're following in that specific issue. But using the madhab to give you a specific guidelines and foundations so they can help you as a student of knowledge, to evolve and learn, there's no issues in doing that. And even the Shaykh, I'm sure, many videos of his will say that. So what he's saying there is a bit slightly different, but I hope people understand the idea.